patient. Let's stay consistent. And that's basically what we're going to talk about tonight. Bring me right to that point. Every part doing his share in the work. So we're going to talk about every part doing its share. I may not get out of that particular portion of it, but it's 3 sections that I want to talk about. But tonight I want to discuss with you this principle. Every Christian is responsible to do his part to accomplish the work of the local church and fulfill the individual responsibilities before God. Working, serving, studying, teaching. Those are the things that I want to talk about for the next couple of weeks. Working, serving, studying, and teaching. It's going to be very important that we get this. Because I realize that in nearly every congregation, some members do most of the work while others relatively do little. And that's everywhere you go. It's just not our church. If you've been in church, grew up in church, you see pretty much what I'm talking about. You see the same, people that's basically doing, the bulk of the work in the ministry, and then there are others that do enough to get by. That's everywhere. But I just believe, I'm just crazy enough to believe that we can have 100% of participation. I've tried this in every congregation I've been in, but it's just hard to get people who, like I said a couple of Sundays ago, when you got half your people going one way, another half going another way, the mission of the church that Jesus had in mind, the body of Christ, is a unit working together. And that's what I kind of shared, with you guys out of 2 Corinthians a couple of Sundays ago. We got to get on the same page. We got to get on the same page, and we got to, if we're going to be yoked together, then we got to walk in the same direction, okay? We can't be going in one direction, somebody going in another. We got to be a unit, finely tuned, working together, all right? We got to be, in order for an engine to run, Jazz, all the cylinders got to be firing what? At the same time. If they ain't firing at the same time, that motor won't run. It'll be skipping, popping, doing some of everything. So we got to have this unit just like an engine. We got to have all cylinders firing at the same time. And I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait to see that when everything gels and comes together and everything is firing on the same, with the same timing, you're going to see something amazing happen. I promise you, you will. Okay, y'all trust me? Okay, all right, I'm telling you will. So, just for introduction scripture, I'm going to throw out here Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 16. And I'm not going to have them up on the screen, so you're going to have to go with me tonight. You're going to have to go with me. I got some slides, some different things, scriptures. If you got your phone, you can snap pictures of it, and then, or I can email this PowerPoint to you, and then you can have a copy of it. We can do that. And that way you'll have, if you got PowerPoint, you can pull it up at work on your phone or wherever. But I can send you the PowerPoint presentation that I did. It's been so fun to be at home. I'm getting to do some stuff that I really want to do. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, I'm so excited about it. I don't know what to do. I'm like, Lord, why can't I just keep doing this? Why can't I just keep doing it? But I love it. I had time today to study, to do my journaling, do a whole lot of other stuff. And I just got so much out of the day, I feel like. Yeah, Ephesians 4, verse 16. Listen to what it says. It says, the body works effectively. The body works effectively when every part does its share. This causes growth of the body. All right, so it can edify itself in love. So, all right, who got Ephesians 4, verse 16? Somebody got it? Come on, read it for me. Go ahead, read it. Okay. Okay, so this goes right in hand with what we were talking about a couple Sundays ago, right? Where I left off at. So when you think about the body works effectively, how and when? How is the body working effectively? When everything is working what? Together, not against each other. And see, what happens a lot of times, if we can just get people to see this and understand that if everybody's working together and everybody doing their part and doing their share, okay, what happens? What happens when everybody's working together? When everything's working together, when the body's working together, what the text say happen? What the scripture just say happen? It causes the body to do what? Grow. Causes the body to do what? Grow. And what are we looking for? We're looking for growth. Okay, here's the key to our church growing. Y'all got it? See, here's the key. If we want the numbers to change. We want people to come. We want folks to be part of what you're doing. We have to get on the same page and start working together. Because if we're working in unity for the same common goal, we can't do nothing but grow. The scriptures don't lie. The Bible is not, God is not going to lie to us. So he says if the body is working together and every part is doing its share, it causes growth for the body. Now, it does something else. What else happens? The body starts to encourage it get encouragement from itself. Right? So every Christian, write this down, every Christian is responsible to do his best to accomplish the work of the local church. Every Christian is responsible to do his best or his or her best to accomplish the work of the local church. Like I said, I'm stretching y'all. I know y'all feeling the stretch a little bit because there's a whole lot of things coming at us at one time. The local church. The local church, our church. You can put the body of Christ there if you want to. Doesn't matter. Be fine with me. And then the second part of that, and, all right, y'all got it? Y'all got the first part? Okay, and fulfill his or her individual responsibilities before God. All right, so when you put it all together, every Christian is responsible to do his best or her best to accomplish the work of the local church and fulfill his individual responsibility before God. Okay? All right. So it gets a little sticky, like I was just saying that I'm telling you, and I know that I am, and I was a little afraid at the beginning. I prayed about this, and this is one of the things that I was praying about because I was like, Lord, I don't want to run nobody away. I don't want to push nobody out of the door. I don't want to do that. That's not my goal. I said, but at the same sense, we got to be about your business. If we're not about your business, then we just spinning our wheels. Because I just kept hearing Jesus when he was telling his mother and father at 12 years old. He was out into preaching in the temple, and they left him there in the city. And Mary came back and said, "Boy, where you been? It's time for us to go home." And the first thing he said when he responded to her, he said, "Woman, don't you know I must be about my Father's business?" So at that moment, that just kind of spoke to me because I said, it's an urgency of time. We have to be about our Father's business. We have to do what we got to do. So that was one of the reasons why I was kind of reluctant about pushing this direction, but I couldn't get away from it. And so I'm saying that I know that we're going to be stretched because a lot of things that are coming, a lot of things I'm getting off from under, I'm pushing away from, I'm giving stuff away, and I'm expecting for people to hold up the things that their responsibilities that they're given. And that's what I'm looking for. So, and I just say that, because in every congregation, in every church, some members do most of the work while others do relatively little. I can't stress that enough. Because sometimes we become comfortable. We become comfortable with allowing other people to do the work when we really should be helping somebody else do the work that they're doing. And then you got people who are reluctant to want to do the work because they don't want all of the workload on them. So now you got a catch-22 situation. You got people that don't mind doing it but don't want to do it all by themselves all the time. And then you got the other group that say, okay, well, shoot, I'll just do enough and let them do the rest. And that's not the way it should be. We all should be doing it. We all should be helping, but somebody got to take responsibility over it. But they shouldn't be left holding the bag. And so that's the direction of where we're trying to go. So from time to time, think about this. Events in a congregation remind us that each Christian must consider whether there are ways he or she can improve and accomplish more in the work of the congregation. And I want you to seriously take a look at yourself. And we're going to talk about this Sunday because I'm going to teach it again. I want every person in this church to look down deep within themselves and ask themselves, ask yourself, is there more that I could be doing? Or do I do enough, or just enough? Or is there more that I really could take on? Is there more that I really could do for this church? And think about this. We should always be willing to examine ourselves. But some events especially change us to consider our work. That's the thing, and that's one of the places that I had to get to, and that's why I keep telling y'all, when I wasn't a pastor, when I wasn't a preacher, I was just a kid in the church. I had a desire to want to learn. I wanted to know, and so I wanted to be part of what was going on. So it took me looking at myself saying, instead of me going to shoot hoops and go hang out at the ball field, okay, I'm going to go spend time with the deacons today. They over at the church. They working at the church. So guess what I'm going to do? Instead of me doing that, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to spend time in trying to learn from them. But that's the only way that I got where I am. And when I started taking on more responsibilities, I started working around the communion table. I started leading prayer. I started doing different things. And Lord, I never set out to be a preacher. I never said, not one time, that I wanted to be the preacher. I really just wanted to be a leader in the church. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to serve and work. That's what I wanted to do. I never said, not one time, that, Lord, I want to be a pastor. That was the farthest thing away from my mind. But when I started studying it, I started getting in the Word, and I taught a Bible class one Wednesday night. And there it go. Because I was scared to death. I was scared to death to stand up in front of people to say anything. But I had to overcome my fears. But the more I hung around the people that was doing it, it made it easier for me. Like I told y'all, when I went to Bible college, I didn't go there thinking about I was going to have a commentary and a dictionary and all this. I took a Bible and a notebook because I had no clue as to what I was doing. I'm novice. I'm just going. I'm like, I'm finna be a preacher, man. I'm finna do this. And all I need to do is the Bible. That's what we're going to be talking about. But I didn't know no history. I didn't know anything. So when I got there, I was like a deer in headlights. But any regular person would probably been scared to death and say, I can't do this. But, I said, at first I did. I was about to say, I went home and I was about to say, you know what? That's too much for me. I don't think I want to do all that. But I had a friend, Pastor G, y'all met him. George G came, and he was already doing it. That's what I'm telling you. I was hanging around them. And so I followed them. So he said, man, you got this. You can do it. But you teach Bible class, and I never really sat under somebody and learned like that. And so everything I did was self-taught, basically. But I learned, and I picked up and took notes from the people that I hung around. And so that's how I got where also you have to do self-inventory. You got to look at yourself and say, what is it that I can do? I know I'm doing this, but I feel like I can do a little more. I should be doing more. So the purpose of me putting this study together for us is to consider the work of this congregation. Let's look at the work that we got to urge each one of us to examine ourselves, to see if we can step up and do more. I want to push you to do more. I know that you are, and I'm not saying that you're not doing anything, but I know that we can do more. So, and then I want you to ask yourself the question, where can I improve? Where can I get better? Our praise team, y'all come a long ways. I remember I look back at some old videos when y'all first started over there. I remember the very first time Chelsea was so excited. She said, I got somebody up here with me, and I'm not by myself. And she's just so excited. But y'all look like y'all were scared to death. They were. And so, but look at you now. Y'all hop up there and y'all go. You remember the first time we got invited to go somewhere to sing? Y'all were scared to death. See, but I'm saying that because if you just trust yourself and you stay with it, you can gain the nerves and the confidence that you need in order to be able to get where you're trying to go. You can do it, but you just got to be willing to push yourself through the doubt, the fear, and the other things that come up. You just got to be willing to do that. All right, you was out. Ashley jumped up there, led songs. Did she do her best? She probably felt like she didn't, but she did what we needed to have to be done.
You know, I saw her. I saw some of the things because the way she looked on some of the things, you know, so what? It's okay. You did it, you know, and I want to see more of you guys switching roles and doing that type of stuff because she ain't going to always be around. You know, so you're going to have to be willing to step up and say, hey, I got it. And we shouldn't lack just because one, like if I'm not here, the preaching, the morality of preaching should not fall. It should still stay up here. I expect for it to start. Whoever is Chelsea, Mario, whoever we bring in to preach, I don't want to bring somebody here that's going to do a pitiful job and then our church don't be fed that Sunday. Makes no sense, does it? So everything should work like that. So if you got a responsibility, Jazz got something that he does or whatever he's doing, if he's not around that Sunday, somebody should be able to pick that up and it still should be able to move on without any lack in it at all. Y'all get where I'm going? But we got to have people that'll step up and say, all right, I'm going to look at me. I feel like we can do better. I feel like I can do better. Then ask yourself this, what can you be doing that you are not doing right now? Think about these things. What can I be doing that I'm not doing right now? So think about, and I'm not picking on you, Ashley, I'm not. But I'm just saying that if, knowing that there's going to be some Sundays that Chelsea's not going to be, you should be practicing leading those songs. Don't wait till the week of or when she tells y'all, I'm not going to be here. Practice on leading those things. If you're going to be preaching, you know, practice on that. Be working on that. Because you don't never know when I'm going to call you, do you? No, you're not done. So you don't never know when I'm going to call you. You know? And it's like when Faye, she does welcoming. She does that. You know? So somebody got to be ready to step up when she's not around. She might get sick, might have to have surgery. Lord knows she don't have to. I hope God she don't. But something may happen to where she can't be here that Sunday. We can't be standing around and saying, okay, we're going to do the welcome. Or are we going to have it today? That's the kind of stuff that what we got going on right now. And I don't want that for our church. I want, because I truly believe that we got everything that we need right here. And everybody's capable of stepping up and doing just a little bit more.
I actually think that's what's coming out of that.
Yes.
I see it. Like the last couple of times we come down there.
Yeah. What work can you help accomplish or help improve instead of leaving it up to others? And I hope to God that there's nobody here tonight, and I hope that we don't have anybody in our church that thinks like that, that would say, you know what, that ain't my lane, so I'm just going to let somebody else do it. If God needed you right now, you was the only person, you the only person sitting in there, and God needed you to step up, could he depend on you? Could he depend on you? Say, okay, God, I ain't doing it for me, I'm doing it for you. I've seen people do that just in the last couple of months. Well, in the last month or so. Especially, this got me thinking, man, my wheels got to turning when I saw Vanicki come up here. I saw Tierra come up here. I saw Tisla come up here. And it was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And it's a beautiful thing when somebody surrenders to the Spirit of God and allowing the Lord to use them in ways that they didn't think they could be used in. So just think about it. Okay? We would especially notice passages in tonight, just for the few minutes we got left, that emphasize that every Christian must do his or her best. Listen, I don't want to do anything half-heartedly. And listen, if you ever see me giving half of an effort, please say something. Because I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't taught that way. When I played ball, we were taught to leave everything we had on whether we were practicing or whether we were in a live game. We practiced like we played. And if we didn't, we got our tails whooped. We were just talking about one of my friends yesterday just called. You know, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, I just had another aunt pass. What date it was? Sunday? Oh. I don't know, Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, Saturday, one, okay, I can't remember, but, I've been under, so I'm trying to bounce back with a lot of stuff on my mind. But anyway, I had a cousin just called me yesterday, and he was talking about, I told him I had surgery and different things. He said, man, yeah, with football injuries coming back to hunt us down. So we was talking about different things. He said, man, I tell my kids now how we were raised. We had coaches was more like daddies. That we had men in our life that were go-getters. They wasn't like, I don't know, you can't say nothing to a child now. But we had a coach, our conditioning coach and our defensive coordinator coach, he was ruthless. He walked around with a hose pipe. He had a hose pipe about a foot long. And get out of line if you want to. If you've never been hit with a hose pipe before, now I'm talking about get out of line and act like you wanted to do something. He take you in that locker room, and you had to deal with that hose pipe, and he walk around with it in his back pocket. But we were like soldiers. We were disciplined, and we paid attention to everything he said. Well, nobody lollygag like kids now. They take the helmets off. They all up in the stands. Turn around and look in the stands, and they catch you on film doing it. See what happens. Your soldiers are on the field. Your soldiers are not in the stands. So we were disciplined enough to be taught. You don't go if you were caught, listen, we got to a point, and we're going to talk about this because I put this in the message. We're going to get to a place, and we were taught that if we caught somebody slacking, we didn't wait till the coach got them. I'd walk up to him and say, hey, look, you got to go. I wouldn't run another play. I'll call timeout and say, look, I want him out. If I feel like you're not giving your best, you're not going 100%, I'm steadily getting sacked and beat up back here, and your man is the one that's steady doing it, I'm not going to keep taking it. You coming out, and if I pulled you out, come Monday morning, oh, you were in hot water. And we had to decide what the discipline was going to be. Because we didn't allow anybody that was on my team to slack. No leaders, nobody that's sitting on the side, no water boy. We had a guy that was I forgot what they called him back then. What they called him, Jazz? They were called managers. They called water boys managers, equipment managers. That's what they were called. So we had one that wanted to play football so bad, but he was deformed. He was born, his legs was kind of like Cody, but both of his legs were turned in, and he was just Patrick. Never forget him. And Patrick had a heart so big, and you would never see him slouching, carrying a cooler, equipment cases. He would carry them things. I'm talking about be dragging them off of the field. And Coach pointed at him one day. He said, I've never seen him lay down on y'all. And I still get bothered by that because we can't get down on each other. When you got everybody working and people trying, it makes a difference. If you see somebody working and working their fingers to the bone, my mind should tell me I want to help them. I don't want to sit back and watch. I want to help them do what they're doing. Especially if you see somebody struggling to do it, jump in and help them. And that's my motto. My wife will tell you, I go to work, I'm coming to church. Wherever I go, if I'm doing something, I don't care how I feel, I'm going to go to church. Because I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. And you don't know how bad I want to be here Sunday. And I'm on the phone, I'm telling folks, change this, do this, calling Wayne, say, hey, you ain't got this on. I'm trying to run church from the house. But it's you have to, it's just, you got to want it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just can't be part of something and go at it half-heartedly. Right. Quentin used to always say, and I think I heard Chelsea say it and other people, I have a mentality of excellence. I don't want to see anything half done. That's why we got scrum. Folks come in here and look at our church, and they see our church on Facebook, they think we got a big church. They listening to our programs and different things. They think, they sitting there like, wow, you know, because I want the best. I don't want don't give me the cheap stuff. Don't give me the halfway stuff. I want the best of whatever I'm doing. So, and we're going to get to this. Matter of fact, let me go ahead. Let's get into it. I didn't even get to my text. Luke chapter 6 and verse 40. What time is it, y'all? Don't let me. Don't. Okay, all right. Carol, pull it out. She was ready. Okay, so Luke 6 and verse 40. All right, give me a reader. Give me a reader. Luke 6 verse 40, and then y'all see the scriptures up here, right? So Romans 2, 6, 10, we're going to get to that one, and Matthew 7, 24 through 27. We may get to those, hopefully. I hope I can get to those. So make sure that somebody get each one of those. I need readers for all three of those. So who got Luke 6 first? All right, go ahead. Yeah, verse 40.
A disciple is not above his teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone who is perfectly trained will be like his teacher. And why do you look at the speck in your I was reading last night on the week. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eyes, but you do not perceive the plank in your own eye?
Okay, hold it right there. So, dealing with, none of those two good verses, and that whole verse, those three verses, they're real good. But when you look at Luke 6, verse 40, he says, every disciple, okay, make sure that you get this. Every disciple, when perfect, okay, and I think your version says something different.
It says, a disciple is not above his teacher, but
Uh-huh.
everyone who is perfectly trained
Okay,
will be
every,
like him.
okay, every disciple, when he is perfect. When will that disciple, when will you be perfect? When you be, is he talking about perfect, like just right, like you just do everything right?
You know, when you're willing, when you're at the place where you're willing to be.
Okay, no, it's okay. Good. This is a teaching moment, so make sure you make a note of this. That word "perfect" right there is talking about mature. Talking about maturity. So when every disciple, think about it, y'all. Let your minds go right now. When every disciple in the church becomes mature. See that? When everybody in the church grow up. He says that disciple will be like his teacher or his master. See that? Think about this. And that's why I try to be the best example that I can. I'm not perfect. I don't do it. I'm not that. There's a lot of room for me to grow. But the reason why I'm like I am, and I'm like I am towards y'all, because I want you to see it from my perspective. Because what I do, I try to vision the church how Jesus looks at it. That's the way I look at it. That's why I have a heart for it like I do, because I know that's how he feel about it. How do I know that? Because he died for this thing. He gave his life for it. And we should have that same energy towards it. So he says, when we become mature, guess what we're doing? We're taking on the mindset of Christ. We're becoming just like him. And that should be our goal. The goal of every church member in the church should to become, I want to be like Christ. I want to be like him. So what kind of mentality do you think Jesus has towards ministry, though? What kind of mentality do you think he has towards ministry? Carol? What type of mentality do you think Jesus has towards ministry? Huh? Yeah, what kind of mentality do you think, how do you think he looked at ministry? I'm saying, just think about Christ. Think about Jesus being in here right now, and Jesus teaching this class. How do you think he would think about church? How do you think he approached church? Yeah, how do you think about Jesus being a member? How do you think he would see the church? Say it again. One unit. What else? Pleasing, what? Loving. Okay, let me say this. How do you think he would treat it?
Like his baby.
Because you got to think about it, it is. He built this. So how do you think he see it? How do you think he approaches this thing?
You want everything to run smooth, like you said, a fine tuned car. You want to see everybody working, doing something.
That's what I'm looking for. Those two things. You want to see unity and you want to see people. Look, Jesus didn't sit on the sideline.
You know how you see it? Yeah.
How many times you saw Jesus? How many times you saw Jesus sit down and do nothing? How many times you read where Jesus just said, okay, y'all got it?
Almost you want to see us like those little ants when you see ants working. And they all coming and going, and bumblebees and all that. Kind of
That's funny because we're gonna deal with that text. But I'm saying though, I want, this is why I'm saying this, because I want you to see this from behind his eyes and not yours. I want you to see it as if you was in his body and you was looking at the church through his eyes. How would you handle it? Would you handle it the way that we handle it right now? You'd be more concerned about it. Your mind will stay on it a little bit more. You know, you'll be the one that be saying, you know what, man, what can I do to do this? What can I do to get the church there? What can I do to get them to, you know, what can I do to get the church, you know, this is what I want to see happen. That's the way the mind has got to start ticking when it comes down to start talking about ministry. You got to see it from his eyes, not yours. Because when you start, Mario's had it perfect Sunday talking about the flesh. Because you start viewing things from a fleshly perspective, you'll never be pleasing to God. So you have to look at things not from a natural eye, but from the spiritual eye. Okay, Romans 2, real quick. Romans 2, 6 through 10. Who got it? Go, Ashley. Yeah, 6 through 10. Okay, hold it right there. All right, so what do we see here? What's going to happen at judgment? What's going to happen there? What's going to happen when you get to judging? You okay? Go ahead. What you say? Go ahead.
Not that we're going to be judged, and we're going to have to answer. I mean, yeah. We're
Yeah.
going to have to answer things that we've done or didn't do.
Okay, good. But he's pointing something out specifically. You're right. That's not a wrong answer. You're exactly right. Say it again. You're going to be judged according to your work. Now, think about this, y'all. Me and Jazz kind of got in this conversation today on the phone. If he was to judge you right now, according to what kind of work you do in the kingdom. I'm not talking about what you do on your job. I'm not talking about what you do everywhere else. I'm talking about your work that you do for the kingdom. What kind of judgment would you receive? And that's where we got to get, Ashley. That's what I'm talking about. We got to be honest with we got to get convicted. We got to be honest with ourselves. Don't keep trying to trick yourself to make you think that you're doing something when in reality, you know goodness well you ain't doing all you can be doing. And that's what we got to be. We got to be honest with ourselves. You know, we got to be honest with ourselves and say, look, man, I really know that if Jesus came right now and I had to stand before him in judgment, according to this scripture, he's going to judge you according to what kind of work you've done in his kingdom. And so if your work is not, listen, when you leave church, listen, man, I want us to get to a place when we come to worship, we worship. I'm talking about, well, I'm tired. I'm talking about, I want to go home and take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done put the work in today. You know, I done did it. I left it all out there. I left it in the sanctuary today. I gave it all to God. I'm tired. You know? And that's, to me, that's so satisfying. That when you can come out and you can serve, you can work in it. You know, we got a community day going. You out here hustling. It's hot. People everywhere. You passing out drinks. You taking up names. You doing something. You know, no, I ain't complaining. I'm just glad I'm out here able to do it. But when you finish, you be like, woo, Jesus, I'm tired. You know, guess what? I did my best. I left it, I put it out there. I didn't look for nobody else to do it. I did it. And then you get home and say, okay, woo, I can chill now, I'm tired. But I put the work in. I know Jesus is pleased. I know he's happy with what I did today. You know, that's the mentality you want. But if you can go home and you can sit down and guilt set in and you say, man, I ain't did nothing. Something's wrong. There is something for everybody to do, and we're doing it. I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so proud of people that are stepping up, taking on responsibilities. Everybody that I've talked to, everybody we reached out to has basically said yes, and was on board with whatever it is that we got to have done. And I'm hoping that we can continue that trend, and we can bring more people that are sitting on the side, get them on, so we can make it happen. So he says, according to his deeds. Now, he says, listen, when you've done the work, and if you're doing the work, you're going to inherit eternal life. That's a given. So this is one of the things that me and Jazz was talking about today, and this is why I was going in this text. You know, people talk about Kobe Bryant dying, you know, and it's a sad thing. He and his daughter and the other 7 people who killed in that accident. And folks are now wondering, how could God just allow something like this, you know, to happen, you know, and why would, you know, why if he has that control, he has the power, why would he let things like this happen? 2 things. Help you understand something. Children are safe. See, our mind is set on the fact that he was young, the children were young, some of the people on the plane was young. They had so much life. They had so much life that they could accomplish so many, he was getting ready to accomplish so many good things. Right? We get hung up on that. What is the greatest gift that a man could ever have? Eternal life. Yeah, he might have did. What kind of relationship he had with Jesus? That's what we should be concerned about. Yeah, he might have fed homeless people. He might have did all these other things. But did he have a genuine? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody said whether or not, you know, he was a devoted Christian. He was a family man. You know, we know all the other things that he did, the accolades in basketball, all these other things he got going on. But then at the same time, you got to understand 2 things. A person that died in Jesus, that's got a relationship with the Lord, they are going to a better place. You act like they going, you know, you act like it's like, okay, especially the children. The children are saved. Y'all understand what I'm saying? There is no amount of rings in basketball this young lady could, or those young ladies could have gained. There is no amount of money that they could have had that can exchange where they are right now. And if they could tell you, they'd be like, oh, no, I'm good. You know, but we are mourning thinking that, oh, the young life got cut off so early, they could have done. Yeah, but it's just like Paul said, look, if I die now, I'm good because I got a relationship with God. So that's the mindset that we should be focusing on. What kind of work am I doing for the kingdom here? Because that's all that's going to matter when I stand before Jesus in the day of judgment. It's all that's going to matter, son. Yeah. Yeah. And see, and that's the thing. That's the kind of stuff that I think that people are missing. They're missing that point. But they just talking about, well, you know, he just, it's so sad. Yeah, it's a sad thing that if anybody dies, especially young people. But at the end of the day, if there's a child involved, that baby's safe. That baby's in the hands of God. Exactly.
Which he did a lot, but I mean, he could have had a lot that he was gonna do, but he did a lot while he was here.
Yes, exactly. He did a lot of things. So you can't be too hurt by that. I feel for his wife and his other children and and the family members. Yeah, we all hurt. We gonna mourn. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, we got something to look forward to. We got hope. To say, hey, we got a Savior who did his part to prepare a place for us. If we do our part, we'll be there. And that's what he's saying here in this text. But he talks about those that won't obey, don't want to do right. Guess what? You're going to inherit something too. He said tribulation and anguish.
What more you saying? Turn the lights off,
Yeah, turn the lights off, turn the heat up, because you might well start practicing. You might well start practicing because you're going to have a long time in the dark and in the heat. So, that's not what we want. We don't want that. We want to serve. All right, we got Matthew 7. Who got Matthew 7, 24 through 27? And I'm going to stop there. Go ahead. 7, verse 24 through 27. Watch this.
Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and put them to practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the stream rose, and the wind blew and beat against the house, yet it did not fall, because it had foundations on the rock.
Right. Woo, there it is. That's it. Think about it. Everybody that does not follow these commands of the Lord, he said, everybody that does not follow is just like a person who built a house on sand. Right? But those that do is just like people that build their house on a rock. It's built on a solid foundation. Okay? So in other words, if you're building your house on the word of God and you're following the commands of the Lord, he said you straight. But if you stray in any way, don't do what you're supposed to do, don't follow the commands, you're in trouble. Okay? I'm going to give you a practical example. So suppose you made a contract to have a new house built. Okay? You laid the plans out, man. You got this thing, you got your blueprints and everything out. You got everything laid out the way you want. You got your contract signed, you got your builder, and y'all done signed on the dotted line. Say, ooh, boy, they're going to start building your house. Now, they go in there, they build this house. They got the walls up, they got the lights in that bad boy looking so good. And you go in there and you get the keys to it, and you get ready to walk in the door, and you step in the foyer and you look down. And you got a dirt floor. You got a dirt floor. Now he tried to convince you, say, hey, look, you don't need no foundation in your house because the people down the street, they got one. So you don't need one. You don't need a foundation. Your neighbors got the foundation in their house, so you don't need one in your house. So you straight. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. And they try to tell you, look, you don't need that. That's overrated. What you gonna do when you walk in there and see that, and he see that disgusted look on your face, like I got this big old pretty house, and it's standing up on the ground. What are you going to tell him? You're going to say, okay, man, we can get by without the flow. You're going to do what? Go hand the keys back, and you're going to back out of that bad boy, right? Huh? But listen, Jesus said, Every house needs a spiritual foundation of obedience to his teaching. Every house needs a spiritual foundation of obedience to his teaching. Right? Let me share this. I'm almost done. Got 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. So, watch this. Suppose you own a farm. Suppose you own a farm. You had land out there. You got a farm. You got cows on the land, and you got, cows. Got certain cows that come in every day. Cows give milk. I'm talking about give it plentiful too. Just give you milk. Then you got half of a third of that group. They don't hardly ever come in. And then when they do come in, they probably give you half a cup of milk out of each one of them. Right? So let me ask you this. Would you continue to let those cows, they eating good, you feed them every day, they got feed, they got water, they got land to run around on, they got all different things. So would you just keep letting them come in and bring you half a cup when you got a few cows over here that's doing everything they can and they giving you all they got? Would you let those cows that's bringing a half a cup and don't come half the time when you call them? Would you let them stay? Would you let them stay out there? Would you gonna keep pumping feed in them? They ain't, I'm talking about they ain't coming. They ain't reproducing nothing. They ain't giving you no milk. They ain't doing nothing for you. And when they come in, they just come out. But you doing what?
Them are the pets. Them are pet cows. Keep the other cows happy.
Drop them off. But would you just overlook it because the other cows are giving? The other cows are giving, so I just overlook them and don't.
Be quiet, because my practicality is different.
I understand where you're going, but I'm finna help you in a minute, okay?
But I get where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, for the purpose of this lesson, I get it.
I got you. Okay. See, if these were just calves, you would give the little calves time to grow up and mature. These grown calves. These cows been out here 15 years.
They old. They just come out a little slow.
Okay, now let me make it practical.
All right, make it practical. Yeah, make it.
Let me make it practical for you. All right, here we go. Here we go. Listen, make sure y'all listen to me. Piling the workload on one or a few members while we do far less than what we could do, is that acceptable? Each individual Christian is responsible for what? The work in God's service. Not only are they responsible, but they are responsible to do it at the very best of their ability. That's where we get off at. A lot of times, here's another thing. We can't just come in and do things and then half-heartedly do it. That bothers me. Now, let me help a little bit more, because when you come into church and you have a responsibility, something to do, I look for our praise team to give the very best that they got to give. Now, I don't want you half-stepping. It's like when y'all little screen pop up, y'all get up like this. So, how you think everybody else gonna feel? Huh? How you think that all these people that sitting out here in the audience and y'all little screen pop up like, shoot. I guess I'm gonna get up here and do this today. You know, this is the attitude. If you had that attitude coming up here, how would you feel? You will never, ever, ever, ever see me get up on this stage like it's a burden to me. Ain't gonna happen. This is why I say this, because you praise team, y'all got a heavy load on y'all shoulders. I'm serious. I want you to understand that you got a heavy burden to carry. Because you set the tone for the church service all day. Now, it's not only just you, it's two key things that got to happen in church. When people hit that door, they got to be greeted with a smile, with an upbeat spirit, with a smile on their face. Because no matter, here's the thing, and you said, Pastor, that's not fair. I understand. Because sometimes you come in here hurting. But can I tell you that when you treat somebody else better, it makes you feel better. So listen, don't ever, if you serving, I don't care if you sweeping the floor, put a smile on your face when you do it. Don't be running around looking like you just, like the end of the world has come down. Because now I'm looking at you saying, okay, it's a burden. It's not a blessing. Is that your best? That's what you're saying to God, that this is all I got to give you. When he woke you up, put a roof over your head, shelter, gave you clothes, food to eat, provided you with safe travel passage, allowed you to go on some vacations that you never thought you'd be able to go on. And it's the best you got to offer? Because guess what? No matter how bad I'm feeling, I could be feeling bad. I'm talking about some Sundays, I feel like I don't even want to come in here. But you'll never see me get up there and look like I got that. If you ever see me that way, something is terribly wrong with me. And you need to be trying to find out what's going on with Pastor. Because when I hit that, my feet hit the floor up there, I'm 100. I'm wide open. You know, I'm ready to give God everything I got. I'm going to sweat it out. I don't care. I don't care what I got on. I don't care. I'm going to do it because I feel like I got to do this. So let's have that mindset. That's what I'm saying. Don't put it off on somebody else. This is yours. This is your job to do. And do it with everything you got in you. Make it your best. Put your best effort for it because you're going to have to answer for it. You have to answer for it, okay? Ask yourself tonight as we get ready to leave, are there areas that I can improve? Are you willing to allow other people to do work which you couldn't be helping? If you see somebody doing something, don't feel like you're overstepping your boundaries, walk up, help out. Right. Put your hands on it. Okay? And I think that we'll get a lot farther, and I think that we'll see things begin to shift, and we'll see a growth that take place over this place like you ain't never seen before. I know it'll happen, right? So I'm done. But next week, we're going to get into this one. Every member studying the Bible. Not only we got to work, all of us got to get in this book. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just have a church with folks in it that know how to work. You understand what I'm saying? That don't do me no good. That don't do us any good. That don't do Jesus no good. And we got a whole lot of people that work hard but don't know his word. Okay? We're going to work, but we're going to be smart. We're going to know scripture. Shoot. I picked this one up. I picked this one up when First Lady started quoting scriptures up here a couple Sundays ago. You missed it. That girl gave a 10-minute speech. Yeah.
You weren't here.
She wasn't here.
Yes, ma'am.
You missed it. quoted 3, 4 scriptures. 2, Joshua said, I know 2.
For a meeting.
Yeah, it was during the end of service.
Carol.
Yeah,
And I missed it. Nobody sent me a video.
yeah, you missed it.
Y'all gotta send me a video.
Y'all missed that one.
Hey, look, I got a lot of work the Lord making me do, okay? I'm sorry. I gotta be in and out.
So yeah, I'm telling you, we got to know the word. Listen, we ain't gonna just be a people that come to church on Sunday, get word, Wednesday, get word, then Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we don't never pick it up. Okay? Got to do better. So we're gonna start doing some congregational devotions. And we're gonna keep them going throughout the year. Okay? All right, y'all?
We should do a contest of who has the longest streak on their Bible app.
They do give them awards for that on that little app too.
Yeah, they do. We should have, by the end, like, we should make a pact by the end of the year, who has the, who has the most, who's been in the Bible app the most. I mean, you can be in your real Bible, but just when you get in your real Bible, just check your see fake Bible.
Join the group. We got a group already started, so just join the group and we'll get in there. But I want us to study more. Stay in the Word. Okay? All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for allowing me to come in and take up your time. I hope it was worth it. You just, yeah. I can't stay away too long. You know, I just know they're gonna be something was happening. They had to roll me up in a wheelchair. I'll be up in here in a wheelchair. Shit, I love church. I don't know. I guess I'm just different. I love church. I grew up in church, you know, and I love it. I love everything about it. So.
It's funny you saying that.
You know it's bad. Y'all remember when I used to be at the church for it over?
Yeah.
But that's how it should be, like, that's how it should be. Like, I was thinking, when I was picking my kids up, like, dang, like, I can't wait till we have, like, functions, like, every other day of the week, because I grew up my mom was a Christian education director at our church, and so I was at church 6, 7 days a week. I was always at church.
Yeah.
And, like, there were days where I hated it, but there were days where I loved it. I just loved being at a place
Yeah.
where, you know, you can trust people, and y'all all love, and y'all are on the
Yeah.
same common goal, you know, and y'all are doing the same thing, and y'all are building stuff together. And that's why it's exciting, you know, if you let go of some stuff, so that way we're able to, like, build together and work together and watch stuff grow. So I'm excited, because this is gonna be, I'll be like, when we going to church, y'all? Y'all coming to church? Like, I can't wait.
All right, let's close with prayer. Any prayer requests? Anybody? I think I saw Ashley's aunt going home.
Oh, no, she is, yeah, she's outside.
She's out to see you, but she's not at home. She home? Okay, but she's doing okay? Okay, good, awesome. Shetty's doing good. For the last report we got, you know, I think Carol put it in Slack, but I hadn't heard. I did. He kind of messaged me today, but I guess he's doing okay. So let's just keep him in our prayers. Just, you know, continue to keep praying for me that I can keep progressing. It's slow, it's steady, but it's getting there. You know, I try to do more than I think I'm capable of doing. Try to push myself to do too much. But, you know, I just hate asking folk to do stuff for me. I try to do stuff on my own. That you right.
That's what you like.
You right.
That's why he gave you a wife that don't mind.
But she be trying to, she's trying to hurt me. She's like, grab that arm, boy.
My first lady would never.
Yeah. Like that woman with them, like that misery, that woman with that blocking in there. Yeah. But y'all pray for us. You know, and that pain medicine, man, that stuff ain't no joke.
Mr. Leroy, well, I call him Leroy. They're about to stop his chemo radiation. They're calling it hospice. But I really believe God can heal.
Yeah, he can.